Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So, finally, you guys, we get to do the review of the Mummy Club Season 2, Episode 11. You guys, it was a nice episode. I don't want to lie. And we had just enough dose of a drama, you guys. Listen, I do like the fact that there's an event here in this episode that Zipo gets to plan, because sometimes some people can be on reality TV shows and getting checks that they don't work for. So we do want to see people planning events. We do want to come to your house. We do want to see your husband sometime. So it's good that there's an event here that was planned by Onozipo. So I think the games day was planned by Onozipo. I did like the fact that she brought the boys. I hated for the boys that that video came out of them, having that fight with their mother, with their father, because now every time I see them, I think about that situation. You guys, that was a situation that was supposed to be kept within a family. So I hated for them that the video was distributed the way that it was. So now when you see them, you just start feeling sorry for them, which is not fair. But what are we going to do? That's a situation. We know what they went through, or what they are going through. I also do like the fact that Unozipo is trying to move on with her life. She's not locked up in her house or in her room, not wanting to see people, even though she's trying as much as she can not to talk about the situation. Because, guys, when it's a really serious situation that you're going through, sometimes you don't want to talk about it all the time, because you don't want to be crying all the time. If she had to talk about it all the time, she would be crying all the time. But obviously, it doesn't stop us from still wanting her to talk about it, because Sitanda nje is in Daba. But I do get why she does not want to talk about this situation every time she's sitting down with the ladies, even though it does feel like some of them would like for her to do that, you guys. So they do play games. Nosipo is there, the boy with the boys, Coco, I think the younger kids, Mrs. Mops is there as well with her kids, but I think the older boy was not there. Nunu Rai with Mabel and her one child. And when she called her, she was like, why didn't they tell me I need a team? I could have called, on my cousins or something to come back me up. And then it was happy with the with her kids, and everybody showed up, you guys. Even Ratile showed up. So I think it was a great day out, and they played the games. Happy and Mrs. Mops were like team captains. I was like, who else? Who else? Okay. And I think it was a good idea to choose them as team captains, so that they don't end up in the same team. Okay. So because they've clicked up. Okay. They really are clicked up. So they play the games, you guys. It's just nice. Like family games. Nosy, the team that had Nosy Paul's family in it ends up winning, and then they had to decide who walks away with the trophy. So then Nozipo's family walked away with the trophy, which made sense, because Nozipo was the only one that had the boys as part of her team. So obviously they win the trophy. With everything that is going on in the background with that family, I thought it was a nice thing for them to just, be happy about, have fun about, nothing serious, but it was still a nice victory to take home the trophy for the boys. So overall, you guys, the games, it goes well. They interacted very well with each other. I think these ladies, they have moments where they can forget about the fact that they're not getting along, or they don't like each other, and they can do whatever task that they need to do for the show to get a good show, and then they can move on to not like each other. So this was one of those instances where they were able to just have a game day, especially, guys, when the kids are around. I think these ladies do try to not get into the drama. Okay. Now, you guys, Mrs. Mobs no happy. They end up when everybody is leaving, they end up pulling each other to the side, just so they can talk about what happened when Mrs. Mobs sat down with Nozipo. This for me is very complex, because I feel like if Nozipo has chosen to share what's going on in her marriage with Mrs. Mobs, I feel like she has chosen to share it with Mrs. Mobs. There wasn't any time where Unozipo said to Mrs. Mobs, listen, I'm gonna tell you what's happening in my marriage, but I'm not ready to tell the other ladies. Can you tell them for me? She didn't say that. She was just sharing with her, because they had gone out for horseback riding, and then after that she felt comfortable enough to share. So now I'm like, I know that the reason that Mrs. Mops had made that date with Unozipo for them to talk was because Happy had asked her to do it. So obviously Happy is going to want to get feedback on what happened. But I also feel like Unozipo might not feel like she can trust Mrs. Mops now, because if I'm just getting to know you, and out of all of the ladies that are here, I chose you to be the one that I tell this big thing to, and then you are sharing it with the other person. Can I really trust you? Okay. So I did feel like it was unfortunate that Mrs. Mouse made a decision to share what Unozipo had shared with her, and shared that with Happy. But nonetheless, she did share it. So she said, listen, we did sit down with Unozipo, and she's talking about, listen, you guys, the conversation that Unozipo had with Mrs. Mobs was totally different from how Mrs. Mop is transferring the information to Happy. It was so different. And I don't know if it's the edit that the conversation between Mrs. Mops and Nozip was edited differently, because they showed us something different when they were sitting down. But then when she is telling Happy what's going on, I'm like, but that's not what Nozipo said. Because Mrs. Mops says, Nozipo said that her husband has left her, has gone and found a younger woman. The only thing that was the same that Unozipo said was the fact that he wants to take this woman as the second wife. But when Nozipo was sitting down with Mrs. Mops, I don't remember her saying that, the husband has left her for a younger woman. She just said that, listen, he said that he's going through this spiritual journey, and now he would like to take someone as a second wife. And now I feel like I might not have him in my life. So I don't know, you guys, those who watch the show, just tell me in the comment section, did you feel the same way that I felt? Because I felt like, no, Mrs. Mops, but you kind of changing the story. Mrs. Mops is telling we're happy the story that is online, which is that this man went and found a younger woman, and he left his family for this younger woman, and under the disguise of him wanting to take a second wife. Okay, but Nozipo didn't put it that way. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know how Nozipo is gonna feel about the situation of Mrs. Mops telling Happy what she told Mrs. Mops. That's number one. And I don't know how she's gonna feel about the fact that the story is now changed. It's being dramatized. Okay. And but again, that's how Mrs. Mops is like. Okay, when the sometimes even cool. Okay. Now, you guys, they talk about how it's very difficult for her because she is being financially supported by her husband. I honestly, you guys, from all that we've seen when Nozipo is telling a story of what's going on with her marriage, I think finances is not the thing that she's worried about as much as she's worried about the fact that she's losing somebody that she really loved very much. I remember when they were even talking about how she might need to walk out with the 8 kids, and finding a home for her kids. And her question was, why would my kids not have a home? Just because I'm going to walk out of this relationship, it doesn't mean that they don't have a home, which is a little bit confusing for me, because I thought that she doesn't work, she doesn't have anything that is her own. So obviously her finances would be affected by her getting out of this relationship. But she really doesn't sound like she's worried about finances when it comes to the possibilities of this relationship ending. She's more worried about her leaving, losing the life partner. Okay. Anyway, you guys, now they decide that, what, Nozipo is going through a lot. Let's do something nice for her. And Happy says, listen, we are going to go to this place in the Val, and we'll have some fun there. I'll invite the ladies, you know, all of that. And they decide that they're just going to go on a short trip for the ladies, with an intention of helping Onozipo come out of this dark place. Okay, and that is interesting because actually the trip didn't ended up not really being about Onozipo. It was like about Happy. I felt like that trip was about Happy. I didn't see anything that was about Onozipo, but maybe they were trying to not make it about her, because then she's gonna be like, "Oh, guys, why do I need to have like, I don't know, I don't know, guys." Anyway, so when they're finally leaving, I think they're supposed to be leaving for the weekend now. So when they're leaving, Happy has hired a motor for them to use for the trip. Ne? So she's hired the car. But then, you guys, it's like everybody was supposed to go on this, I think it's a limousine that they were driving in. So everybody was supposed to come with them, the other group and the other group, because we all know there's Happy and Mrs. Mobs and No Zippo, and then there's the rest of them. But apparently they wait and wait and wait for the other ladies, which was Nunu Rai, Ratile, and Mrs. Sunday. They don't show up. Okay. This is what I thought. How, guys, why would you do that? Because I felt like it would have been nice for them to travel together. But also I felt like if the other three wanted to travel together, because I really feel like they just wanted to travel together. They didn't want to travel with Happy and the other group. I feel like they should have been matured enough to say, would say, okay, we don't want to travel with you guys. It's okay. We really appreciate the invite, but we would like to travel alone, like with our own car. We'll arrange our own transport, or we don't like the kind of transport that you have arranged. Okay. But they don't show up on time for this transport that Happy has arranged for them. And then up until it's time to go, they go. And then they ended up traveling, just the three of them, with another car, which I don't understand, you guys. Okay. I just felt like they should have just said, in appreciation of the invitation to the trip, just say, listen, we're going to make our own arrangements for transport. Whatever reason you give her, you can even give her the reason that, I just prefer to travel this way. Okay. So then the three, they go ahead of the others. They go to the place. It's a nice place, you guys. Happy has done the thing that I think with every girls trip on these reality shows they should do when they are allocating rooms. Just get rooms that are the same for everybody. Get the best rooms and give everybody the same, kind of room, the same kind of view and whatever, unless you, of course, just want to cause drama with the allocation of the rooms. Just allocate the same type of rooms to all of the cast members. She does just that, you know and listen, I think Happy is the best host in terms of choosing the location and choosing of the rooms and whatever, because she's going to go for the best. Okay, how she's going to treat the people once they're there is another question. But I thought, yeah, it was a great idea that they all had the same rooms. So everybody's talking about how amazing the place is, how amazing those rooms are, and everybody has their own rooms. Nobody is going to be sharing a room. Then on that side, the other ladies, finally they are on the way to the venue. And you know that when they are together, they always talk about the other ladies. Okay, I really like, every time I'm seeing Mrs. Sunday, it's like I like more and more I just don't like her, because I feel like Mrs. Sunday has no personal beef with nobody, because she's new in the group. Okay, in fact, she should be like Zippo, where if the other group is calling her to hang out, she should go and hang out and have no problem with nobody. And if the other group is doing the same, she should do the same, because there's no personal beef. Okay. At this point, I do feel like she's sort of Bluetoothing beef. If from your mood now, we are tired. Now, because of everything that Ratile has been telling her, it felt like on their way to the destination with Ratile. Ratila was coaching her. Every time she wants to say something that is okay, like she's just talking nicely about Happy, she'll be like, oh, so is Happy your majesty? When she says, oh yeah, by the way, her majesty said this, so is she your majesty? Almost like she had coached her before, would say, no, we're not calling her majesty. She's not our majesty, because she's not royalty to us. So is she your royalty? She's like, no, 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 whatever her name is. So they just, to me, I'm like, these women are like in their 30s and looking like they could be like 12 or 13. She's not your friend, because she's not my friend. Okay, she can call herself her majesty, but she's not our royalty. I'm like, guys, the more I watch Mrs. Sunday, the more I don't like her, because I just feel like she's acting very immature at this point, and nobody has done anything to you, so you really should not have beef with nobody. Okay, that's one. Number two, the more I watch Ratile, the more I don't like her, guys. I feel like I've tried. I mean, it's been 2 seasons already of me just wanting to not see the things that Ratile does that are not really nice, and I'm like, no. This episode, I was like, this is it for me when it comes to Uratile, because And I don't like the fact that she tries so hard to act like she's so classy and don't, but she's so messy. Okay. So they drive to the destination. Obviously, all of them are happy with the place, they're happy with the rooms. And Uhappy has planned this like outside evening picnic with them. They're supposed to wear pink. So they go there in the evening. Everybody is looking nice, you guys. They get there, they've got these gifts that are like what do you, not diaries, what do you call them? Yes, whatever. The notebooks where you're supposed to write whatever your thoughts, your feelings, whatever. I don't know why this word is running away from my brain. Anyway, you guys, so they got there, they've got nice gifts. I just feel like, I don't know, journals. Yes. So I don't know why. I guess we happy journals a lot. And we understand she journals a lot and she's given some people ama journals, but I'm like, you can't just every time you give a gift, it's a journal. Like, but I understood what this was about, making sure that Zippo channels because they feel like there's an issue. Why is she channeling on her phone? They don't understand that. I don't get it, you guys. If you want to channel on your phone, channel on your phone. Okay, what's the big deal? I channel in my own brain. Okay, while I'm sitting in the bathroom. Okay, and that's my channels. Yeah. So they go there. Happy is a little bit late, and everybody gets there. They greet each other. It's a little bit awkward because Happy, the host, is not there, so they don't know what to do while they're there sitting down. But everybody's looking cute. Eventually, Oh Happy comes, you guys, and then they just started hanging out with each other. And but you guys, let me go back a little bit because there's something I want to mention when they were riding. Happy, Mrs. Mobs and Nozipo, they were riding to the place. Happy was talking about how they need to do this thing where they have sisterhood and they need to develop a thing of trust within each other. And if one person is for an example, she makes an example. She says, if one person, for an example, calls you and asks for electricity, just give them electricity and not don't tell anybody. We should be able to trust each other enough to do things like that with each other. So I'm like, I was thinking, who has asked for electricity? Because I thought, what a weird example for her to make in that instance. Or is there somebody that has asked for that in the group? Or is it that they think Unozipo will reach a point where she will be struggling even to make payments for her electricity bill? I didn't get it, you guys. So by the time they get there, obviously I don't know if Nozipo realizes that the whole thing is planned for her because she's more quiet. Okay, she was talking when they were on their way, but when they are actually sitting down for the picnic, she's more quiet. So they sit down and so they're talking about a little bit about this sisterhood, whatever the channel guys. There's no manual. There's no life manual. Let's do our manual here. What? They start having a conversation about journaling. Obviously, other people believe in journaling. Nozipo says she journals so that she can have something to leave behind for her kids, so that maybe one day they will understand her better. She says that she feels like she wishes her mom had done that because there are times where she feels like she wishes she could know how her mom felt in certain situations, so she would have loved to get something like that. So she does it for her kids. And then like Ratile is like, hey, but I wouldn't want my kids to read what I would put on a journal. And I'm like, I understand because of what you're going through. Of course, you don't want your kid to know what you what you're going through because but the others are saying, but the journaling doesn't need to be all negative things. But I'm thinking if you journal honestly, if you journal honestly about how you feel, what you're going through, then it's going to be positive and negative. If it's all positive, then that journal you might as well throw away because then it's not honest. There's no honesty in there, you know. So I get Ratile a little bit because if you're going through abuse, you know, with their father, maybe you don't want your kids to know that. Okay. So I got it, but at the same time, I did feel like she's exposing herself a little bit. Okay, because she's acting like the marriage is perfect. So now, what is going to be on the channel that your kids are not going to want to see because you are acting like your marriage is perfect. So everything that is in the channel should be perfect, just like you are acting. So now you are saying you wouldn't want your kids to see the things that you would put on the channel about their father. And I'm like, but what would you put about their father? Because you've been saying their father is perfect. So she was telling on herself a little bit. So, you guys, it gets to a point where they are deciding now that everybody's going to say something nice or something about the cast member. It doesn't have to be nice, but it doesn't have to be negative. Mrs. Sunday, I think she said something about Mrs. Mobs, saying that now that she got to know her, she feels like Mrs. Mobs is a nice person. So she's feeling like sometimes, it's not good to just judge a person at a distance. And also, who did she say something about? I can't remember who else. Oh, I think she said it about Happy, that Happy is misunderstood. Okay. Then Happy decides to go next. And guys, I don't know if they were going around, maybe even Mrs. Sanders said something about everybody, but they just edited it in a way that we ended up only seeing her say something about Mrs. Mops and Happy. So I don't know if they were supposed to say it about everybody, or it was just you choose whoever you want to say something about, because it wasn't making sense to me. So why are you not saying something about everybody? Listen, for that game to work, if the trip is about women empowerment for real, they should have said, let's say something nice about somebody, nothing negative, just say something nice about somebody, because it was about women empowerment. But the fact that they put the negative in there, they were trying to cause unnecessary drama, I felt. So then Happy ends up being next, which was weird because Happy was sitting on the other side, Mrs. Sunday was sitting on the other side. If anything, Happy should have been the first to say, and then maybe then the next one should have been Zippo, Mrs. Mobs. So it was so random. So I was like, okay, maybe it's the edit. They just took the ones that were more dramatic. I don't know. And then Mrs. Mobs, not Mrs. Mobs, Happy says to Nunurai, you Nunurai, number one, she doesn't say anything nice about Nunurai, which I felt like it was wrong because it's a woman's empowerment thing. You are here to empower another woman, support, whatever. That's the theme of the whole trip now. But when you go for Nunurai, you're just saying something negative because she says Nunurai needs to learn to accept responsibility when they've done something wrong. Sometimes you have to admit when you are wrong. That means that there is a problem with Nunurai. And I think Nunurai wanted an example, and Happy didn't want to give her an example. And then now Nonora is sitting on the other side of the picnic, whatever set up, not opposites, not opposites of Happy. So it was weird, even that Happy just went for Nonorai now, and then the next one she goes for Mrs. Mobs, who's on the other side. Mrs. Mobs was not next to Happy; it was Happy, no Zippo, Mrs. Mobs, and then it was Nonorai on the other side. So now when she goes to Mrs. Mobs, everyone's like, "How? And how is this thing supposed to go?" You know. Mrs. Mobs is like, I thought it's supposed to go clockwise, which means they're supposed to be Mrs. It was supposed to be Happy, not Happy, Nunurai, and then after Nunurai, she was supposed to talk about Ratile, but she doesn't talk about Ratile. Instead, she goes all the way to Mrs. Mobs. Okay, Ratile in the diary session says that Uhappy is kind of, I guess, intimidated by her because she doesn't really know how to come for her, but she's been trying for long to come for her. I don't think that she is wrong. Okay, that but I do feel like Uhepi was trying to avoid having confrontation with the Ratile at that point. She doesn't care about her enough to even say something about her. Had Ratile just left it that way, the drama that they had at this picnic, they wouldn't have had. Okay, because the woman has skipped you. Okay, said something negative about Nunurai, said Nunurai needs to fix something, decides that she's not going to say something about you because obviously your relationship is volatile. That is my thinking. I don't know what Happy was thinking, but she decided not to go for Ratile. She goes all the way to Mrs. Mobs. It also could be that she was so in a rush to kiss Mrs. Mobs's behind, okay, because that's what she did. Then she started going on about, you know, you are the type of woman that support other women and whatever. It was just the whole speech about how wonderful and great of a friend Mrs. Mobs is. She's all about women empowerment, and a lot of the time when people see women get along, they don't like it, whatever. Listen, you guys, had I been sitting there with those women, I would have felt, listen, you are kissing her ass, but I wouldn't have said it because the spirit of the whole thing was about we are, encouraging each other. We all suppose, just in the name of not wanting any drama, I would have kept my mouth shut and just thought about the fact that she's kissing her ass. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen when you just let a friend kiss another friend behind? you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? But the others, because They don't like Mrs. Mobs, and they don't like the friendship of Mrs. Mobs, and Happy couldn't keep quiet. Nunurai kept quiet, and I know exactly that Nunurai was thinking exactly the same thing. But I think Nunurai was really trying to keep the peace, because even when Happy was coming for her, she did not, she tried to stay calm, okay? She did not come for Happy. So even in that instance, I felt like she was thinking the same thing that Ratile was thinking, but she made a decision not to say anything. So then when Happy hadn't even finished, and then Ratile is like, you are kissing Mrs. Mobs behind, which upset Happy, because Happy is like, why wouldn't you just let me say nice things about this woman who is my friend? Why are you having problem? Why are you having a problem with the fact that I'm saying a nice thing about Mrs. Mops? That is where the whole thing just turned, because Mrs. Mops is like, listen, don't pay attention to her. She is trying to get on your last nerve, obviously. She's trying to trigger you. Don't be triggered. She really tried, Mrs. Mops, to say, no, focus on me. Kiss my ass. Kiss all the ass that you want to kiss. I don't mind. Don't focus on him. I do think, you guys, that Ratile intentionally wanted to trigger Uhappy, and Uhappy really gets triggered very easily now, because she should have recognized what that's what this woman is trying to do. Now, Oratila is the one that will throw a bomb and then just look the other way like she did nothing. And then when she gets some scratches from whatever that is thrown up in the air after she throws the bomb, now she gets a little bit of scratches. It's like, oh my God, who scratched me? Then she becomes a victim. That's why in this episode, I was like, Ratila is not a good one. Mm, no, because then now when Happy is losing it, which we all know she was going to lose, because that's how Happy is. Now she's like, no, but I'm just saying that you're kissing her ass. Like, now, girl, that's exactly why you made that comment. You made that comment to Happy so that she can be triggered and blow up, so that that event can be just exactly the way that it ended up. Okay, so now Happy now is focused on what Ratile said. Everybody's trying to say, no, but let's move on. Let's finish the game. Let's Nothing happens. Okay. And then, you guys, now what happens? Okay. So now Ratila is saying no, but she is saying that you are supporting women, saying to Mrs. Mops, because Ratila doesn't like Mrs. Mops, by the way. And Mrs. Mops knows very well that Ratila doesn't like her. So she says you are not really for women, because apparently there was an event that they were supposed to go to. Initially, I'm thinking it's an event that was Happy's event, but there is Litabo's name that is being brought up. And I think it's Litabo from Real Housewives of Johannesburg, because there's a tea that is being mentioned. And I know that Litabo has some tea. Maybe it was a tea launch that they were supposed to go to. Mrs. Mobs didn't go. Mrs. Mob said she had an event that was a paid sponsorship. She had called Happy to say, I can't come to your event because of this. Happy was like, girl, if they are paying you, go to that event. The others didn't know that. So the others thought that Mrs. Mobs didn't show up for Happy. So they're thinking Mrs. Mobs is not a good friend to Happy because she did not show up for that event. What I'm not understanding is how Happy's event is also Litabo's event, because they're saying you did not show up for Happy at Litabo's event. So I don't know, you guys. Is Happy a partner with Litabo in the tea company? I don't know. Okay, but for some reason, Nunurai and Ratile were convinced that Mrs. Mobs is not a good friend to Happy because she did not show up. But what they didn't know is that Mrs. Mobs had spoken to Happy to say, I'm not going to show up because I have this paid sponsorship that I have to show up for. So she went. Okay. Anyway, it blows up, and Happy wasn't letting it go. Okay, she was just going off on Ratile. When you don't want us to have peace, you own my kids all the time. Ratile is almost in tears now, but she's holding back. She ends up standing up and walking away. And I'm like, no, girl, sit down and take it, because you are the one that started it. Okay, you should have just let that woman kiss her friend's ass. Just let her kiss her friend's ass. So now why are you walking away almost in tears and being like, I'm what's her name in the diary session? Uh, Something about her not losing control. I'm like, yeah, you started with people that are easily triggered. You stand there and take it. So then, you guys, after that, obviously the whole thing just was not working. Okay, Notipo was wanting to walk away because Notipo was like, listen, the whole event was about us, coming together, being positive towards each other. It's not that, and she wants to walk away. And then everybody ended up coming back, but it just wasn't, So they ended up just going back to their places, and they're saying that the following day, Happy is still has booked the place for them, and so they still be there. I guess they can still get to do things together. Listen, you guys, it looks like the drama is going to be continuing this week because I saw on the preview that Happy is going to be getting in it with Mrs. Sunday. And I really feel like Mrs. Sand is making the wrong decision because she is acting as if she's known Ratile for years and will defend Ratile to the grave. And what she's forgetting is that Ratile came on the show with Happy, and she's having that back and forth with somebody that brought her to the show and threw Happy under the bus when the opportunity presented itself. That is not somebody that is safe to become friends with on the show, but she's choosing her. So I'm saying she's gonna fight all of these fights, and then when the time comes for Ratile to fight for her, she will see flames. Okay, I see the future, and Mrs. Sunday's future on this show is not a very nice one. Okay, anyway, that's it, you guys. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. What did you think about what was Ratile's intention when she called Happy on that? As and I'm not saying she wasn't as kissing, she was okay, but I feel like had they wanted it to not, if they didn't want to start drum, they should have just let her do it. Okay, the fact that they made that comment, like Ratile made that comment, it's almost like she just couldn't take it because why are you saying these things about this woman? She wanted to start drama, but then when the drama had started, now she started to act like, oh my god, oh, I can't take it. Anyway, you guys, that's all that we had this episode. Tell me what you think about what went on in this episode. How are you guys feeling about Mrs. Sandy? Because I'm like, girl, I don't know. I'd rather take Nozipo that is quiet at this point than you because mm. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Upumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngenethanda kakhulu.